Hey guys, welcome to BricksDaily Live, episode 4. So, really enjoying doing these video series with you guys and everything. This week what we're going to do is actually use the LEGO Minifigures Kendo Fighter. This is from the Series 15. And it's a pretty cool little figure. I have a couple of these. I'm actually going to try and use all of these in the shoot. So I have four of them. And what I think is pretty neat about these guys is they come with two swords. And if you know anything about Kendo, and I'm not an expert or anything, but I do know that they don't use real swords. It's, I think, bamboo. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But it comes with two helmet detachable, and pretty good detail on the torso here and everything. So put that back on. And one thing that I've thought about with this shot is I kind of want to get it to look like it's taken maybe in a dojo or something like that. And so I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to set that scene up. I know a lot of times we do a lot of heavy, or in the past we've done a couple episodes where we've done some heavy editing. And this one I kind of want to not do a whole lot of heavy editing or anything like that. I want to make it look like more like it's a photo taken in the dojo. And with that, what I want to do is kind of have a wooden feel. And so what I actually have for that is I did some remodeling in my home and my office, and had some flooring left over. So I have two different types here. So what we're actually going to do is in the shot, and I've done this before, just going to kind of take these just like that. So we'll have a floor and a wall. We're going to use that to shoot, get them posed and everything like that. Another thing that we're going to do is the lens that we're shooting with is going to be the 35mm, because I want to fill up as much of the shot as possible in the frame. And with the other lens, this one here, with the 85mm, I would have to be farther back, and it's just not going to fill the frame as much as I would want and everything. So I'm going to use, like I said, the 35mm, and I just want to get a nice, set them up and get a nice shot, like they were actually posing for this in their dojo and stuff like that. So what I want to do is just go ahead and switch over. We're gonna just dive right in and start shooting. One thing before we do, if you haven't liked or subscribed to our videos, take a moment if you can and do that, and also click on the little bell notification. It'll let you know when these videos come up and everything like that. We have some exciting stuff coming up in future episodes, so you're definitely going to want to be aware of when we go live and everything. And also, if you have the time, jump over to facebook.com/BricksDaily and give us a like on there. And you can also get notified from there when we go live with our videos. So let's go ahead and jump over to taking the shots. Okay, so like usual, we have little photo area here, and one of the things, gotta find. I'm gonna grab my light here. So one of the things that we're gonna want to do is just get everything set up. And I think for this shot, what we're going to do is, let me move this over just so you can see a little bit. I got my tripod here, and once I get the camera mounted on there, I already know that I'm going to kind of want to shoot at the same level with the minifigures. And I do that because it's the same kind of thing that you do with child photography. Anytime you shoot, and you shoot down, it gives, it makes it look like you're outside of the reality that the subject in the photograph is in. If you look in portrait photography and even back in paintings, it's always, it's not done from this level, it's done from this level. And by doing it from here, what happens is it really brings them into the same world as the viewer. It's almost like they're looking at the subject in real life where they're seeing it. So what I'm going to want to do is, and I do this a lot with my shots, is I'm keeping the camera about level with the table, and or just below, the camera body coming just below. And the reason for that is the lens isn't right here. The lens is up a little bit, but it's going to give me an upward shot, and the table actually won't be in the shot at all. So let's go ahead and set this up and figure out which, let's try having, since the floor is not going to be too visible, let's see what happens with this. And again, to set this up, I'm going to use the same trick I do for everything else, or my other backgrounds. I just take a clamp, and I'm just going to clamp it on. And because of that angle, it's just the angle that comes off. I'll show you on another one here. Because of this angle and that spread, it's not going to tip. So, and since I'm not using a lot of weight or anything on the wall, it's going to work out pretty well. Or it's worked out pretty well so far. And one of the things also that I've been experimenting with is, and I know you guys have seen, I use these newer CN 160 light boxes. I think it was like 30 bucks on Amazon. Again, one of the things that I've noticed a lot is a lot of hot spots on the toys. With this, I really want, I've had the idea in my head of what I wanted to shoot, and I wanted to make sure I didn't get any really big hot spots or anything like that. I don't want to really call out that these are made out of plastic and stuff like that. So what I've done is on this one, if I take this off, you can actually see, I wanted to diffuse it a lot more. So I just took some cooking parchment paper, folded it up, so it's going to be shooting, the light's going to be going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of this. And I'll show you the difference here. So just by turning this on, you can see how bright that gets. And if I bring in a figure, it's really going to stand out, especially up on the head and some of the arms. So what I want to do, just put this in. It's going to really diffuse that light a lot. And then put back on the diffuser that comes with the light itself. And in doing so, it's actually a softer light, and it's not as much of a hot spot on the figures and everything. So, and one thing I forgot or failed to mention is for this guy here, I'm actually going to take his helmet off. Let me grab this. Okay. So I have this Lego figure, and I'm actually going to use the hair from this guy. Okay, so let's go ahead and start setting this up. So right now, all I'm going to be focused on is getting the actual setup of the figures. So I'm not taking any shots yet. I'm going to lock my camera in place. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's get this guy set up. Let's have him. And one thing, since I'm shooting with the same figure, 4 of the same ones, you definitely want to make sure that you don't have the exact same pose and everything, or else it kind of just looks like you've cloned them. And things to look at is feet position. So I just noticed that I have both this one and this one in the exact same foot position. So maybe we can just change it up just a little bit. We have different hand positions and sword positions. Okay, so get this guy, and we'll just have him be both feet flat. Let's see. Actually, let's move this guy here. Okay. Kind of knocking them around with the swords there. Maybe I should have set this guy up last. Okay, so we're going to take his helmet here. We got that, and let's set that up there. Looks like it's just kind of resting on the floor. Okay, I got the swords, and let me grab a little bit of tack here. Okay, I think I got that on. I'm just using a little bit of tack. Let's see if I can move this in just a little bit closer for you guys. So as you can see, what I did was I just wanted to have one sword come up from the floor and rest on top of his helmet, and the other one just kind of like it's leaning up against the hilt of the sword and just kind of creating a cross focus. and see if you guys can see a little bit of, let me tip the tripod back here, a little bit of what the angle would look like. So it's going to come down just a bit, and it's going to be zoomed in just a little bit more because of the lens. So it's already going to go right past the white and the edge of the board. So we'll go ahead and set that down. Put you guys back over here on the tripod. Okay. Now with this, let's see. Okay, I'm going to just take a test shot here. Well, before I do that, I'm going to drop the aperture to, let's see, to an f4. Let's yeah, let's try an f4. 120. Let's try 100. Okay. Actually, I'm going to scoot this forward just a little bit. If you guys remember, I typically shoot with a prime lens, and so it won't actually, I can't just zoom in myself. I have to either move the camera closer or the subject closer. And here, because I'm pretty much right at the edge of the table, that's why I'm moving this forward just a little bit. I'm going to readjust the tripod here just a little bit for framing. Get the light back in here. And let me see here. Just bring the light over just a bit, and I'm actually going to do 120, let's see, or 125. So an f4 125 right now. Okay, and I know you guys can't see what this looks like right now, but hopefully we'll get switched over here in just a moment so you guys can see. And one of the things that's happening is because I'm shooting at an f4, these guys back here are falling off quite a bit. So I'm going to bring them up, but I'm going to have to change some stuff just a little bit. I don't want him totally sharp. I want this guy with the hair to be the main focus. Let's see if I can bring this over just a little bit more for you guys. Okay, so I want to get this guy that's right up front more in focus, or I want to keep him more in focus than the rest. So I'm going to continue shooting, I think at an f4, but I'm going to reduce focus just a little bit by bringing these guys up. And these guys are essentially all on the same plane, with the slight variance, so each one's going to have a different focal or focus amount. And with him being in focus as well, this will be a little bit out of focus because it's in front quite a bit and everything. But I think that should look okay. Okay, I'm going to try and give you guys a look at the viewfinder on the camera. I know it's not the best. So you can see he is a little bit off center from him, so I think that will work out pretty well. So let's go ahead and jump back over, and we'll go ahead and pull it up in Photoshop and see how it looks. Okay. Let's get this microphone. We don't want to repeat last week. So here we are with Photoshop. And let me get the memory card here. Take the camera out of the way. Okay. And what we're going to do now is just go in and open up this image. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And that looks a lot like what I want it to look like. So right now we're going to go in and just clean a little bit of stuff up. And I made a graphic that I want to overlay in this. So let's go ahead and open this. And just work with our settings. Again, I know I've repeated this, or said this before. I'm using Adobe Camera Raw plugin. It just comes automatically with Photoshop and everything. It has the same rendering engine as Lightroom. And for what I do, because a lot of my stuff is done in Photoshop, I use Lightroom. Or I don't use Lightroom, I use Camera Raw. And also what happens is I bring it in as a smart object. I can add in layers that I need to. And it allows me to just have more control over what I'm going to be doing with the editing. And then also, because I do a lot of printing, I don't like how Lightroom handles its printing engine and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and just start editing or adjusting some of this. And we're going to bring the exposure up just a little bit. And I don't know, let's see. Yeah, we'll bump the contrast up. Highlights we're going to bring down just a little bit, because if you notice, if I bring that up too much, it will start blowing out the swords, because the swords are such a light material. I want to make sure that I actually retain some of the information in the highlights. So bring that down. And bring the shadows up a little bit. We don't need to go too... Well, let's see. Okay. Let's try that. I'm going to bring the whites down because of the helmets, the cross parts. I want to bring a little bit more information in there. Again, those can get blown out if I'm not careful. So we're going to bring that down. And not too much. And let's see what happens with the blacks. Okay, I think that's looking okay. I'm going to bring up clarity just a bit. And our vibrancy. Let's see. Let's go over and adjust our sharpening. Let's get that pretty sharp. Let's zoom in here. So I can tell already that there's going to be some dust and everything that we need to remove. I'm going to bring up the noise reduction. And what that's going to help with is some of the noise that's happening in the face and everything, so it should be okay. You know, I wonder what this would look like black and white. So we could... No, I think we'll keep it color. I kind of like the browns and the reds that's happening from the wood. So we'll go ahead and keep that in. But we are going to crop this just a bit. So I'm just selecting the whole thing, and then right now I'm holding down Option and Shift. So I can bring that in just a little bit. There we go. So I maintained the original aspect ratio when I was doing the cropping and everything. And let's do this real quick for you guys. So right now what should happen is you should be seeing any kind of keystrokes that I do on the screen as I do them. Move that over just a bit. That way you guys can see what kind of when I'm hitting the keys, since I tend to forget to say it out loud. Okay. So looking at everything, I think I'm pretty good, or pretty happy with stuff. Okay, so right now we're going to open this up. Okay. So right now what we can do is Sorry. I want to create more of a vignette coming in from all the sides, but it already has kind of a vignette up at the top. So let's see. Actually, okay. You guys know I use smart objects and everything. This is the perfect reason why. Not looking at this now, I'm not totally happy with the cropping. So I'm going to double click on the layer and it's pulling it back up in Camera Raw. And I'm going to select the crop tool. I'm going to bring this over just a little bit. I want them a little bit more off center than what's happening. Yeah. Let's do it just a little bit more. There we go. And we'll bring this back in. And it just updates the file and everything. So if I hadn't been doing this as a smart object and I just had cropped that, all that information outside of the picture would have been gone. And because I'm using smart objects and everything like that, that data is still there. It's just not visible at the moment. Okay, so let's create a new layer. And I'm going to do some pretty fast, quick cleanup here. You do have a little bit of spots that I usually have to clean up, and that's just because of the age of my camera and everything. Again, the camera works perfectly well. No sense in getting a new camera if you don't need to. And so if I can deal with taking out little red spots all the time. Let's zoom in just a little bit here. And one of the things with the toy photography that you really want to do is you really want to make sure you're controlling the dust. Because nothing screams that it's a toy more than a giant flake of dust that might be sitting on the toy. I mean, think about if you went down the street and you saw somebody with just a giant piece of dust on them that you know would kind of freak you out maybe. So we're just taking all that out. And let's adjust this just a little bit. Okay, so I want to go in and fix what's going on with his mustache and his mouth. So for this, I'm not going to use the spot healing. I'm going to just use a regular clone stamp. And as you saw, I did that just by pressing the S key a moment ago. And what I need to do is hold down the Alt or Option key and click where I want the source to be. And then I just start filling that in. And all of these adjustments that I'm making right now are all in one layer. And since I'm painting on one layer, and I'm pulling the source from another one, I have the where it says sample at the top. I have currently I have current and below. If I select all layers, if I had any layers on top, it would also select those, even if I was on a lower layer. But I want to focus on the layer that I'm on and the layer below. So right now I just have it set for current and below. Or I could just do current layer, and it would only copy items from the current layer that I'm on. Okay, so I set a new relationship for the source. Just kind of come in and paint. Now do it again from the other side. Now for here, let's get the smaller size. And I just switched over to the spot healing tool. That's why you saw the J up on the screen there. Okay. go back out here. Okay, so let's see. I know earlier I talked about the vignette, so let's go ahead and bring that in now. And let me name this layer. Okay. So we have that. Let's add in a new layer. And I usually just say big for vignette. And let's pick a color here. So I'm just grabbing the eyedropper tool. I kind of like this darker wood look, so we're going to select that color. Okay. And with the gradient tool on this new layer, I'm just going to kind of come in from off the canvas just a little bit. And I just kind of do that to just gradually pull it in. I don't want to just start in the corner and come up because it's just a little bit too much. So I'll undo that a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to set this right now. Let's try this with multiply. And what will happen is a little bit of the layer information from below will come in. So let's go ahead with that. And let's zoom in and take a look at this. I think that's going to be the way I want it. And I mentioned earlier I have a graphic that I created, and that graphic is actually a logo kind of thing for text treatment. I created two versions earlier, a dark and a light version. And as far as I can tell, this is actually the kanji for Kendo. Hopefully it's correct. It's trouble of looking stuff up online. You don't always know what you get. So let's go ahead and select the lighter color. And we're going to paste this in, and we're going to do it as a smart object. That way, again, if I need to edit the this object at all, I can double click on it and it will pull it back up in Illustrator and allow me to do what I need to. So helps if I actually click on Smart Object and click OK. One thing I do want to mention real quick is by default, if I remember correctly, Photoshop has this little tick box if you're using Photoshop CC selected. And what happens is if you're not paying attention, all of a sudden your library is just going to get full of stuff that you're pasting in at random times. So just make sure you don't have that selected unless you want it to be added to your CC library. So we'll just hit OK. And because this is a vector file that I created in Illustrator, even though it's being brought in at a small size, I can actually enlarge this as much as I want, and I'm not going to lose any definition. It's not going to look pixelated. It's not going to have any problems. So I'm going to just bring this up. And let's see. We want it at the top. No, let's do it down here at the bottom. So we're just going to commit that and zoom in. Zoom out just a little bit there. And let's see. Okay. Let me move this real quick. So what I want to do is I want to add in a drop shadow and everything. I'm just going to pull it out just a little bit. And let's bring this back in just so you guys can see. It's going to be a little bit too harsh there. I have a lot of one of the things that Photoshop happens with Photoshop is as you're doing layer styles, it remembers the last settings that you had. That way they're just available the next time you use it. So I just got rid of some of the drop shadows I had done from a previous image. Now here, let's see, let's change this color. Let's try the same color I used earlier. And that works. It's typically a good thing to keep in mind is you don't always just want to go with a black drop shadow. You do want to go with a darker color if you're going for an actual kind of shadow effect. But keep in mind of how it's going to interact with the layer below there. Sometimes having just black is a little bit too jarring. So you just want to make sure you're controlling what that does. So that should be good. It's still set at multiply from previous. That's usually a good way to go. And let's see. Let's bring the spread down. Not too much. Okay. And let's add in. Go ahead and add in another drop shadow. And this one just retains the same information from the last one. Now here, let's bring that over, but we're going to drop the opacity down just a little bit. And bring the size up to just blur it a little bit more. Okay. That should be good. And let's duplicate this one more time. But rather than it just overlaying the same, we're going to have it come the other way. And let's change the size on this just a little bit. Okay. And get a little bit darker. Let's see. I'm going to do the same settings here for this one. I think it was 139. Yeah, 139. With an 86 for opacity. And there's no set reason why I'm choosing those numbers. It's what looks good to me right now. Let's see. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to double click on the layer again, pull up the layer effects palette. I'm going to try something. May seem a little odd. We're going to turn on Layer Mask Hides Effects, and you'll see what that does here in a moment. I'm going to apply a layer mask to this. Now, right now I'm going to hold down the Command key and click on this layer. And in doing so, what's going to happen is it's going to create a selection around that layer, everything on there. And just like that. And I still have the layer mask selected. And let's zoom in just a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to hold down Command-Shift-I. And what that did is it just inverted the selection. So before it had selected all the text, the Kendo and everything. And what I did was I flipped it so that it has everything else selected except for the text. And now, using the gradient tool, I come up from the bottom and just kind of hide the effect a little bit. We're going to come in at an angle here, off to the side. Do the same thing over here, just a little bit. And let's do the same thing at the top. And what happens with that is, let's see. Yeah, it gives, it's just not a standard drop shadow, and everything. So let's see. I think that's it. Let's see. You guys a clean shot here. So there it is. I think that looks okay. Yeah, let me show you what we could do real quick. This I have it the way I want it. I just want to show you if you wanted to do this. While Kendo is a modern art form. If we wanted to give this kind of a dated look, I'm going to throw on a black and white adjustment layer. And we started messing with this a little bit in Camera Raw. I wasn't overly happy with it, but if we just go in and edit this. See. And since this is an adjustment layer, I can easily turn it off and even get rid of it instead. But the reason I'm doing this is if I wanted to give it kind of an old look, what I might do next is create a new layer, and I'm going to just fill it actually with white. And I'm going to come up and do add noise. I'm going to add some noise in on the layer here. Don't want to do too much. Click OK. And what I'm actually going to do now is select just part of this. I'm on this layer with the noise, and now that I have selected, I'm going to hit Command T. And we're going to make this selection just a little bit bigger. What that's going to do is make those dots and the noise just a little bit larger than what it was by default. And you can do this as much as you want. We'll start looking odd if you start enlarging too much. But I want the noise to be just a little bit larger. That's why I'm doing this. Now if I do that, and I come and select this to multiply, it's going to knock out all the white. And what starts happening is it starts looking more like an older photo, just with some noise added in. So if we zoom in, you can see some of it. So if I wanted to, let's get this full size so you guys can see again what it looks like. I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to bring this off so you guys can see it full. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to just show you what it looks like with the black and white and without. So if you wanted that older look and feel, you could just add in, just make it black and white, add in a little bit of noise, and if you wanted to, you could even drop down the opacity just a little bit. Other things you could do is, show you this here. I have the layer, the original image layer selected, and so with the original image layer selected, I'm going to apply a filter, or come up to filter and come down to blur gallery, and here we're going to use go with the iris blur. And just get this right on him. So everything inside is going to be in focus, everything outside is going to be blurred a bit. We're just going to increase this blur. So in a way, it's kind of doing like what was happening with adjusting the f-stop on our camera. But old-time photos have a lot more of a blurred effect and everything. So that way, what we're doing with this is just recreating that kind of look and feel if we wanted to. And then also, if I wanted, I could bring up the logo, bring that over the top, and it brings the kanji of the graphic back into color. Now, if I wanted to keep this, I would probably go in, and it might be hard a little bit to see it on your guys' screens. But because we used a colored drop shadow, here I would want to go back in and actually make it a black or a gray. Or else it just adds in coloring and it's going to seem a little bit off. Like I said earlier, that's just one thing that we could do with it, but I'm actually going to turn that off. I like it more in color and everything. So, yeah, let's give you guys a final look again. And I think it's turned out okay. It looks the way I wanted it to. You guys may have preferred the black and white or anything. Let me know in the comments which way you wanted or think it should go. But I think this worked out pretty well. It's a pretty fast edit. We just really had to go in and clean off some of the dust that was up in the hair, just a little bit on him. And because the guys in the background are out of focus, we don't have to worry too much about cleaning up any dust or anything on them. Unless you see like a big speck of white, you wouldn't have to worry about it and stuff too much there. So yeah, so that's it. And like I said, I think it turned out pretty well. And if you guys like this and like everything that we went through, please like and subscribe, and click on the bell icon. Also jump over to facebook.com/BricksDaily and like us over there. Either way, you can be notified when these videos come out. We try to do it once a week and everything. And also check out BricksDaily.com. All of our videos and everything that we do is also posted there. And just head over there. Make sure you look at stuff all around the site. We do have a wonderful feature on there called Under the Macro, where we feature every week we try to feature a new toy photographer from all around the world, and just share a little bit of their processes and what they do. And they're gracious enough to share some of their images with you guys. And these tend to be their favorite images that they have and everything. So be sure to check that out. It's over on BricksDaily. It's called Under the Macro. So one thing I wanted to tell you guys is next week we're gonna do something that we haven't done before, and it's only gonna happen on BricksDaily Live. And so this is one of the reasons why I was saying you need to make sure you like us and subscribe, because it's only gonna be available to people who like us and subscribe and stuff. And it'll be pretty simple. Next week, you'll just need to leave a comment and follow us. And what you'll be entered to do is, and again, this is next week. I have a canvas print here. One of my favorite minifigures that I've done, and this is Wonder Woman. As you can see, it's a pretty good size. I got a scoot back here so you can see all of it. So I believe it's 30 by 40, and it's pretty nice. I mean, it actually has a nice hard back, image wrap all the way around, hard back on the back. And we're going to be giving this away next week. So make sure that you like us and everything, so you know when our video goes live. And we'll be giving that away to anybody who wants to enter to win it and everything. So we'll pay for the shipping and everything like that, so you guys don't have to worry about that. And but you have to watch next week's episode to find out just a little bit more information on it. And we'll just be trying to do some more little giveaways and everything like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any questions or anything, hit us up in the comments. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit us up in the comments there too. Let us know, however you want to get a hold of us, what your comments are. If there's something that you want to see more of, let us know as well. And last week's episode was a complete answer to just one person's comments. So we want to hear from you. We want to engage with you. Let us know how we can best make these videos the way that you want. And what we'll just do is I'll leave you again with this final image. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram and BricksDaily.com, where you'll be able to see these images and see them for what the final ones look like when they get posted and everything. So here we go. Thanks for following along. Hope you guys found it helpful, and we'll see you next week.